Hi, welcome to Pete's Garage. I know, it's been a little while. I've been a little busy and a little bit lazy, and that's just kind of how it goes. But today I'm going to be working on the Suburban. I've been working out how to get my VSS working correctly. It seems to have a problem with the Dakota Digital sender, but I have to be able to prove it in order to see what's going on. And one of the things that I need to do is be able to actually see the signal that's coming out of the VSS. It's flaky, and so the signal bounces back and forth, and I don't think it's giving a stable signal to the computer, and so the computer is freaking out and can't tell the transmission to shift correctly. So I bought a little oscilloscope, just cheap thing on Amazon. Look at this tiny thing. It's cute, but it should allow me to see the waveform on the speed sensor, and then I'll be able to get a better idea of what's going on. If I can positively identify the sensor as bad, then Dakota Digital will give me a new one. It's $120. They're really expensive, so I don't just want to buy another one and hope that it's correct. And it might not be the problem, so it'll help me identify where in the system I'm breaking down. So, on to it. All right, well, I'm going to test my little oscilloscope with a speed sensor that I have that isn't the right one for the computer because it's set for 128K. This is just a 4K sender, so it won't work, but I can at least see the signal. So let's see if this little $50 oscilloscope actually does it right for me. All right, I think I've got everything set up. I've got the speed sender on a drill. So that is definitely a stable square wave off of this sender, which shows me that the signal isn't corrupted or anything right here like this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the back wheels up on the Suburban, and I'm going to start the engine and put it in gear and let the wheels turn so that the speed signal sensor is getting some sort of signal. And I'm going to look at what the signal looks like going into the computer. All right, so that's round one of what's wrong with the speed signal. All right, well, I did a little bit of search. I tested my oscilloscope. It works. It shows me the waveform. I put the 4K sensor that I had on the drill motor and verified that operation was good and it showed a nice clean square wave. And then I hooked the oscilloscope up to the speed signal at the computer, and it is flaky. It gives a really good waveform, and the square wave on one side looks good, but the signal's flaky and bouncing all over. So the period in between the waves is just doing this number. And that's a flaky speed signal. That's changing the frequency of the speed signal in a non-standard fashion, which means my speed sensor signal from the sender to the computer is corrupted somewhere. The next step is to take the sender out of the transfer case and see if it's the sender or the wire. All right, well, now here's the test. It's completely isolated from the circuit in the truck. This obviously isn't spinning as fast as the truck does, but even at 200 RPM, see that? That's the signal coming out of the sender. That is horrible. Horrible. And the faster it goes, the worse it gets. That's why my transmission won't work correctly. That's a bad sensor. Well, it turns out buying an oscilloscope was the correct thing to do. That thing had been giving me trouble ever since I got the Suburban together and was trying to drive it. Sometimes it would drive great, and other times it would be horrible. And it was all because that signal was getting flaky, and it changes with temperature. So sometimes it would warm up and work great, and then it would quit working again. And sometimes it would work unbelievably well below 60 miles an hour, and above 60 miles an hour, it would start getting flaky. It was just bad. And you can see that as the speed came up, the signal got flakier and flakier and flakier, and it was oscillating almost 400 hertz. And the computer is going, nah, can't do that. So my next step is going to be to try and get a new sender from Dakota Digital, see if that changes anything. I suspect that their 128K sensors are prone to flaky signals anyway, but we'll find out. If it turns out that I can't use that speed sender, I will have to get my computer resegmented, and that means I have to buy HP tuners, which I really don't want to do. But, oh well. So, that's where I'm at. At least now I know. For sure I know. I'm not guessing. I'm not guessing on a gear. I'm not guessing on something being loose. I'm not guessing on flaky wiring. I know for a fact that the sender is bad. And so now I can do something about it without just having to throw parts at it. So, thanks for watching.